Question for black women. Why do you think that black men look outside of their race to find a partner?
I'm getting ready for bed, so I know I look a little crazy, but I think most black men look outside their race for a partner because they feel any other race is more easy to live with than black women. Think about the stereotypes black women have had for the longest. We're known for being the loud, bitter, ghetto baby mamas, ratchet, hood, all of that. And a lot of black women also don't want to submit to a man. It's very unfortunate, but a lot of black women also haven't had their fathers in the home. This leads single mothers to grow up their daughters having that mindset of the strong, independent black woman, the one who doesn't need any help, the one who's dominant, the one that is strong and feels like she can do everything on her own. And though there's nothing wrong with being strong, a lot of black women equate being strong to being loud, being assertive, being the dominant one. And no man, especially the black man, wants to be in a relationship with a woman with that mindset. The black man has been put down for years and years and years. He goes out every day fighting for his family. He doesn't want to come back home to fight round two with his wife. At the end of the day, our black men are kings, and we just really have to treat them with the respect and love that they deserve. Because I guarantee you could turn on your TV right now and the world's not doing it.
Before I actually say anything about this, one, it's not really about black men going to white women, because me personally, I'm not going nowhere. I'm just going to tolerate the mess that she said and stay. And two, I'm one of the black men who actually are bold enough to add correction to you guys who actually follow me. And you see what I deal with in the comments. You must hate women. Your mom must have did this and da 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 da, instead of actually listening. So the biggest issue with this video is about how black women deflect everything instead of actually fixing the said problem. Virtually everything this young lady said is true. Ladies, I would like for you to go back and listen to every single word she said 7 more times and say, okay, it may not be me in particular, but this is the biggest problem that black men have with black women. Secondly, this next woman coming up is the actual biggest problem with black women. See, this next woman is about to come up and sit here and ignore everything that we have a problem with and say, well, what about men? Well, why don't men do this? Oh, well, men are doing this, which doesn't help anything and is simply dismissive. Every time we speak up and say, hey, we don't like it when black women do this. We don't like it when black women do that. Instead of you guys saying, you know what? I'm going to fix that because I've heard that before. Keyword, I've heard that before by millions of other black men, right? Instead of actually fixing it, changing it in order for us to actually want to marry you instead of just have sex with you, because a lot of the reasons why men are just having sex with you instead of marrying you is one of the 1,000 things that the young lady actually said. But if you would stop doing those 1,000 things that the young lady said, your outcome will be better. But instead of doing that and looking inside of yourself and saying, damn, do I act like that? Let me change that. You want to do what this next woman is about to do, which is the most ignorant, annoying thing that black women do, which is dismiss literally everything a man has an issue with. Don't change anything and turn around and make us the problem. But when we have a problem with something, we aren't the problem. You are doing something that we don't like, but you don't do that. You just sit around and complain about what men are doing. And it's stupid. But listen to this next woman.
She says something about men going out and fighting for their families and doing what he got to do, but there are women that do that as well. I'm just tired of the pointing fingers, well, it's all these men's fault, or it's all these women's fault. It's like, I think that both men and women both take a responsibility in things like this.
Okay, I found another part I want to talk about. Do you see what she's doing here? She's saying, I'm tired of it being men's fault versus women's fault. This is not about anybody's fault. This is about somebody's preference. This is about the reason why men, not me, but why black men are going to other races. This is not about men being accountable. This is about men's choices on why they're deciding to do something different versus being over here.
I feel like the way she completely neglected to also hold black men accountable is a little problematic. I also wanted to add this in. Don't you remember when black women were marching for black men in the Black Lives Matter protest because black men were the ones getting shot and killed? And in return, a lot of black women were being put in situations where not only will black men not protect them, but be the ones that hurt them. Did you forget that?
See, this is the actual problem here. A lot of you are used to your own mothers guilt tripping you for having an issue with your mom. Think about this. Say your mom was abusive. Say your mom treated you like crap when you were young, because a lot of you have that story. Your mom was emotionally unavailable or something, right? And now that you're getting older, you're like, yo, mom, like, can we talk about how you treated me when I was a kid? What did your mom do? Well, I had you. I gave birth to you. I am your mother. You can't say this and say that. Do you see? That's the same thing. This is the culture that a lot of women have. Instead of your mother saying, oh my God, you know what? I'm so sorry. It's, well, if you wouldn't have did this, or if you did, what are you talking about? I birthed you. I did. That's what's going on here. She's talking about how women are marching and stuff for men. We're just simply saying that we have an issue with black women. And if you were to work on your issues, we would actually want to marry you instead of just have sex with you. But instead of saying to yourself, you know what, I'm sorry, let me work on my whatever. Here's the same thing that your mama did when you were little, or now that you're grown. I gave birth to you. And women are saying to us, well, we marched for you. Fix your shit instead of justifying why you should keep being loud and argumentative and masculine and independent. This is the problem.
So now what's the excuse for that? What did black women do that time to get that kind of response? What did they do to deserve that? That's what I want to know. Shit.
But that's not the problem. When somebody has an issue with something that a person is doing, stop making it like it's not important to us. If somebody goes to you and says they have a problem with, it's a problem, stop sitting here saying, I don't understand why it's a problem. Fix it.
Mention that black men will go after non-black women who mimic black women.
On the contrary, it's the other way around. Black women mimic white women. I want you to think about the wigs most women wear. They're the long flowing white women wigs. Do you see women wearing the curly black girl wigs? No, black women are mimicking white women with the wigs that they wear. Personally, I'm not dating a woman who wears wigs because I like a woman with her natural hair, because I love black women, including their hair. So personally, I don't date black women who mimic white women because that's what I personally see all the time, not the other way around.
But you talked about single mothers. You talked about single mothers and you didn't bring up the fact that the fathers have left these mothers.
In most cases, it's not necessarily the father left the black mother. It's the woman had a baby with a loser. And before you get mad, I want you to think about you or your friends or your family members. Is their first baby daddy a loser? I want you to think about this. Is your first baby daddy a loser? And then do you have a second baby daddy? And if you have two baby daddies or one baby daddy in the beginning, the first thing I want to ask you is, why didn't you require marriage? See, I'm not going to say that men aren't leaving their kids, because that is true. But almost 80% of women who have children are single mothers. 80%. Do you actually think all these men are just running around leaving their children? No, most black women are having children with men who are not capable of protecting, raising, and providing for their children, i.e. losers, I mean straight bums. And secondly, they're not requiring marriage from these men. So not saying that the men are not supposed to stay and take care of their kids, but what I'm saying is there's a huge amount of black women that are literally having babies with men that are not capable of raising a child because they're losers, or they're having babies with men who literally have told them to their face, I don't want to be with you. I don't want a baby. I'm just having sex with you and I don't want to do this. Now, that's part of the man's issue too, because he laid down with her also. I'm just speaking to what she's saying is women having sex unprotected with bums and losers and not requiring marriage. It's like going up under a bridge and saying, hey, you want some ass? And the dude bends you over and now you're pregnant. And now you pulling up in your little car under the bridge like, hey, you need to get a job. What's wrong with you? And the dude is like, I'm a bum. What do you expect? Would you get mad at the bum under the bridge for not having a job, not having a car, not having any means of taking care of a child? Or would you get mad at the goofy ass woman who pulled up under a bridge and had sex with a homeless person?
that mother wouldn't have had to raise that child independently to be an independent woman that's apparently loud and this and assertive and dominant had the father had stayed.
Well, ladies, let me ask you this. If you were a man, put yourself in our shoes. Would you actually stay in a relationship with a loud, masculine, instead of feminine, argumentative, independent woman who keeps telling you she don't need no man? Would you stay?
Past video when those black men were passing up that dark-skinned black woman because she was dark.
And lastly, I would appreciate it if you ladies would stop demonizing men for having preferences. I didn't see the video part that she's talking about, but if a man is choosing a light-skinned girl over a dark-skinned girl, or a dark-skinned girl over a light-skinned girl, or this girl or that girl, that's his preference. Why are men demonized for having preferences? So if the dark-skinned girl wasn't his preference, why is he a terrible person for that? Like, I would choose a small woman over an overweight woman. Am I demonized for that? Probably so. But a woman can get with a guy that's 6'2" and turn down a man that's 5'5". Is she demonized for her having a preference? No. So let's stop arguing with each other about our preferences. If as a man, we want a woman that is feminine, we want a woman that is not argumentative, we want a woman that is cooperative, we want a woman that isn't loud, that is our preference. And two, if you're tired of black men complaining about y'all having baby daddies all the time and not being married, fix it. Being loud all the time, fix it. Having all these family and emotional problems, fix it. Being overweight, fix it. A lot of these things are easily fixable with therapy, the gym, and some self-reflection, instead of getting mad at us for not wanting some of you. Because the bottom line is, I want you to keep in mind, because this is always a teachable moment. Your goal, or part of your goal, is to be married, not to have somebody to have sex with. So a lot of us men are tolerating your issues because we just want some ass, and we just keep coming around because you keep giving us ass, and you start thinking they actually want to be with you. No, we just don't have to take you out no more, because once you're used to us and we're used to you, you just come over our house, or we come over your house, and we don't go out no more. So you became free ass, wondering why this man isn't marrying you. Because he doesn't want you. He didn't want you in the beginning. He was just tolerating you. So if you want your situation or your narrative to change, and you actually want a man to want you and be with you and have children with you as a married woman because he marries you, take care of the things that the young lady was saying that we don't like. Because until you or y'all or whoever fixes that stereotype, which is real, we are not going to marry you. And that is your issue, not ours. Because whether we marry you or we just hang around you, we are getting what we want. Because until you change, we're just going to keep using you for free ass. Sorry.
Think about the stereotypes black women have had for the longest. We're known for being the loud, bitter, ghetto baby mamas, ratchet, hood, all of that. And a lot of black women also don't want to submit to a man. It's very unfortunate, but a lot of black women also haven't had their fathers in the home. This leads single mothers to grow up their daughters having that mindset of the strong, independent black woman. The one who doesn't need any help, the one who's dominant, the one that is strong and feels like she can do everything on her own. And though there's nothing wrong with being strong, a lot of black women equate being strong to being loud, being assertive, being the dominant one. And no man, especially the black man, wants to be in a relationship with a woman with that mindset.